That was great walk-up music for you, Adia Barnes. Great to have you here, the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, coming off a 22-win season, your third straight trip to the NCAA tournament. I know this year's team is going to look a lot different than last year's team. You've got 5 returning players. So let's start with that, just kind of the state of the program and what you're excited about this group this year.
Well, I'm really excited because it's a great young group. Just excited for all the changes, a good core group of freshmen, and just excited for just this year, the last year in the Pac-12, and just excited for some good basketball, probably our best Pac-12 yet.
The freshmen need to be highly impactful. Just give us a quick overview of what you expect from them.
Because you never know what to truly expect with freshmen, but, I'm telling you, we always say this as coaches, you want a player that actually wants to play their position. And Brea Cunningham, she's a post player that actually wants to be a post. And that's rare nowadays, but she's been exciting, great hands, getting in great shape, finishing well around the basket, does not play like a freshman so far. And then Jada has been just so much fun, just already shows leadership as a freshman, and just a lot of things that she does are small things that you wouldn't think a freshman would do.
Well, and you've got a lot of, you got 2 returning seasoned vets who we're going to hear from in just a little bit. But first, let's open it up to questions for the media. Christine will call on media, and raise your hand, please.
Yeah, please raise your hand, and we'll hand you a mic, and state your name and affiliation prior to asking your question. Over here on my left.
Good morning. Last year, your attendance was phenomenal. What was it? Was it intention with the SID department, or was it a campaign within you and your team that really brought all those people out to support you?
Well, I think it's just, Tucson's a basketball town. If you look back at Lute Olson and the history, we've always been really known for basketball. And I think that early on when I first got to Arizona 8 years ago, we were really intentional about getting out in the community and being really active and just having some connection there. And I think it just grew, and it helped winning some games along the way and having some success. But they just love basketball in Tucson. I think our team and program does a really good job of connecting with the fans. So, yeah, we were #1 in attendance in the Pac-12, so very proud of that.
Yeah.
We're going to go over here on my right.
Hi, Adia. Good to see you. Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. With obviously so much talk about the conference and where it's headed, is there an added motivation to sort of go out with the bang? Are you trying to keep it at a minimum? How are you approaching this season with your players, the message to be sent, focus here, but also maybe, like I said, wanting to go out and with a bang?
That's not even a thought. My focus is this year, these great young women. I have some super seniors, and it's probably some of the best Pac-12 basketball in history. So I think that I'm so excited about that. You don't even look ahead, because the main thing is to win now and live in the present. So just excited about the talent we're going to have, all the great players, the excitement, how there's so much parity, and then just not really looking ahead, because we got to win now, today.
Over here on my right.
It's nice being on this side.
Different, huh?
Charlie.
Hi, Adia. What do you think your greatest challenge is going to be this year to get your team to their best spot?
Yeah, so I think our greatest challenge is going to be just our youth and just the experience. The fact of the matter is we're going to play a lot of young players. And, we have some really good super seniors, but mixing in so many new players and the core being young. But the positive thing is, I think at this day and age, when you're coaching and recruiting, if you get really good freshmen, like, the McDonald's All-Americans, you're not going to retain them if they don't play. So the positive thing is they are going to play. Now, will that mean we might lose some games because of some mistakes? That could be potential, but I'm looking at the future and how I want to build off the core. And Arizona was our best when we had our core together for 3 years. And that's how we teach a lot, and the process is longer in the way that I do things. So I'm excited about that, and just excited to see Brea and Jada and Skylar thrown into the fire. And then, Montea was hurt, so that's also a hard thing for us.
I'm curious, because you bring it up, Adia. Do you have to coach differently in the era of the transfer portal than you maybe did before?
I think you have to coach differently in general from when I started. I mean, I'm only 8 years in, and the kids are very different than they were, 8 years ago. So I think that with the portal, with retaining players, I think you're always having to recruit your players, and that's just what it is. And there's NIL, there's so many different things. So you just have to always just be changing as a coach and change.
You guys also play a very high-energy style play.
Yeah.
I mean, you're trapping, you're defensively, you just use a lot of energy most of the game.
We're going to use more energy this year.
Well, how do you do that with 10 players?
We're going to figure it out. That's going to mean, as a coach, I think one of the challenges for me, Charlie, too, is the challenge of having a short bench, which I haven't had the shorter bench, and being able to play our style. So I'm going to have to have shorter practices, obviously, which is hard. It's hard to be really concise and precise in a short amount of time, but it's what we do. And I'm telling you, we're going to play better defense than last year with a shorter bench. And I think for players, the psychological thing is, you know you're probably going to play. I think that's also fun, too. So I won't have 10 miserable people because, you know.
Everybody will get some burn.
Down in front on my right here.
Morning, Adia. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Cindy Brunson, Pac-12 Networks for One Last Ride. Want to know the evolution of Kaylin Gilbert.
Yeah, Kaylin's been phenomenal. Just to watch her growth from last year, this year has been incredible. She's so strong right now. If you see her physically, she looks different. But just mentally, I think she approaches the game different. She's studied a lot. She's really intentional about everything she does. So we have big expectations for her. And, you know, she's just grown a lot. And I think for her, she'll play on the ball, she'll play off the ball. But she's really put in work, so I'm expecting a really big year for her.
Over here on my right.
Hi, Adia. Matthew Walter from The Next. You talked about you have such a young group this year. How important will Helena and Esmeri be to leading this team, not only from a basketball standpoint, from just an experience and leadership standpoint, to lead this younger group as you guys try to, you know, win games this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. Helena and Esmeri are going to be one of the most important things. We're going to go as they go. No pressure on them over there. But we need them to have great seasons, and they will. But we also need them to be strong leaders in the locker room, and they will do that. And I think for them, it's been really fun to watch. They love leading the type of freshmen we have. When you have freshmen that are hungry, that are great people, and they are in the gym and want to get better, I think that makes their job easier. But we're going to expect a lot from Helena and Esmeri as far as them being aggressive on the floor. We're going to, you know, they're going to put us on their backs. And I think they're excited for the challenge. They know we're young, but they've also embraced that they have to be leaders in every sense of the way. So I'm excited for that. I think they are too.
Esmeri in particular, every game I did last year, I was just so excited. I felt like you could just take a camera and just shoot her from the waist down with her footwork. It's so exceptional. What is it like to coach a player that the game just comes so naturally to?
It's really fun, and we just had to work a lot on her not fouling out. So she doesn't foul out of practice anymore. Before she fouled out of practice and the games, but no, I think just going from the Big 12 for her to the Pac-12 was a big adjustment because she's talked about it was a lot more physical, and the Pac-12 wasn't as physical. So she had that learning curve. This year, she knows that. She knows what to expect, but she's so much fun to coach because she's versatile. She's really improved and worked on her three, so she'll be more consistent. But I love the fact that you can't teach a player like her how to rebound. She's got that nose for the ball, and it's instinctual. And I love coaching players like her. We need some more Esmeri.
I'm just curious, they both had an opportunity to go play professionally and both thought about it. How do you guide your players through those types of decisions and those two in particular?
Yeah, so I think when we talked about the changes in the coaching is you're now having to think about all those things, going pro, money, NIL, all that stuff. They both had really good opportunities. Helena passed up a 3-year pro contract to stay her 5th year in college, but she'll leave with a master's degree. And if you would have asked Helena that 4 years ago, she would have said, heck no, I'm going back to Spain. But I think it's a great opportunity. We have a chance to be really good in one of the best conferences in the country. And I think she wanted to just have one more go at it. And she's going to have a really big role. And I think that's also exciting for her. For her, she plays every position for us. She was our captain last year. She'll lead again this year. So I think all those things were something she really embraced. And she passed up the money. But for her, she'll have that later.
You've really turned the page. I know Kate Reese was your first really big recruit, and she's moved on. And so the gauntlet of leadership has really moved on to a whole nother group. What's that feel like at practice?
It's great because now there's more tradition and there's higher expectations, and there's now the challenge of trying to get over the hump. Like, how do you get to that next level and get to where you win a championship? We're one basket away. So I think these players are really showing the freshmen what that's about, and we can really win big time with these freshmen in a couple of years. So I think with these seniors, who they are on the court, off the court, in the classroom is really positive. So I'm just excited, and I think they want to go out with a bang. They want this year to be special, and then they're both going to go on to play pro and hopefully in the WNBA. So I'm excited about that.
And just one final question for you, and then we'll bring up those players that you're talking about. I know you've said that this is a gritty group and a defensive-minded group. How do you think about when you construct your roster and you're trying to figure out who you're bringing in? What exactly is it that you're looking for? And can you tell that by watching a high schooler play?
Yeah, I think that I think at first a lot of people get caught up in McDonald's, this and that. I don't really care about any of that stuff, and I think that. I said it's going to be gritty, not always pretty, which is probably true because we'll be young, but we're going to be tough. And I can already tell in practice we're going to be way better defensively than we were last year, because last year we were very offensive-minded. But my teams have been best when we've been very defensive-minded. So, they're going to play hard. They're coachable. They want to play. They want to win. And I know the style that I want to play. So getting those players that are selfless, that are gym rats, and those are hard to find. And toughness, the mentality, all those things, and they want to be great teammates. I was a blue-collar player that wasn't that talented, but I was a very good teammate. And I would have done everything. Joan would have said, run through a wall. I would have run through a wall. So you want those kind of players that, and we had that when we went to championship. So when you're recruiting, you're looking for all those small things.
A blue-collar player who also is the leading...
Scored a lot of points.
Yeah, I was going to say the leading scorer in the history of the program, so it all worked out pretty well. All right, we are going to bring up Esmeri and Helena Puello. As they're coming up, anything we should definitely ask them about as they make their way to the stage?
I'll just ask them about what they expect this year. Yep.
Yeah.
And their leadership, of course.
All
I know
right.
they're going to be great.
Adia Barnes, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Good luck this season. All right, Helena Puello and Esmeri Martinez, they had to sit there in the back and listen to